well. I finished my PhD last year, like in May 2020. I defended my thesis then. So I was continuing as a research associate in the same institute because of all these COVID. There were no fundings during this COVID time, so I continued there. And last December, I got married and I moved to South Carolina this March. So in between, I was trying to actually find some positions for the postdoc. So, and it's basically majors in nanotechnology.
Mhm.
So I have been looking for some industry-based positions as a material scientist or a kind of um, postdoc positions in material science or photovoltaic or energy-based applications, in fact. So
Mhm.
the main thing that was concerning me was apart from all these funding issues, so I'm currently on a dependent visa. So uh,
You
I
mean
was
you mean
kind of
H2B visa?
H4,
H4. Okay,
H4,
got it. Okay.
H4. So I was a little skeptical that it's almost like 8 months, like I've taken a break from the career. So I was trying to find some visa sponsorship for my PDF or any industry position.
Mhm.
So meanwhile, the kind of reciprocation that I've been getting for my position is like very minimal. If I apply for what 10 positions, I hear back of for one. I at least hear back only one positions. So I was just trying to know whether I'm missing out on projecting the way I'm projecting myself, or is it something that is being lacking in my CV or something that I need to really look into. So I thought when you just posted, I thought it would be a good thing to get to know if I'm somewhere missing out.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I understand now. So I think your situation is not very unique. Actually, a lot of students, especially women who get married and then come here, go through this. I have my cousin's his wife has exactly the same thing, same
Okay.
issue. So she did her PhD from Bombay, some I forgot the name of the university, but and she had the similar discussion like 2 years back. And right now I
Okay.
think she is doing her postdoc from Rutgers, if I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I saw your CV also. I don't think that your CV is missing anything, to be honest with you. It's very well written and you have enough
Okay. Thank you.
publications and all that. I also want to tell you, I think if you ask me the current situation in US right now, especially with universities, what I see online, as well as talking to students and my friends who are professors, yes, and all that, it's actually difficult for them to find people. To be honest, there is more demand than supply.
Okay.
Because a lot of students and postdocs were not able to came to US because of COVID. So there were
Mm-hmm.
professors who were looking for students and so forth. And the area you are working in is a very appropriate area, in my opinion. And I
Okay.
don't see that you should have any trouble looking for a postdoc.
Okay.
Finding industry would be difficult, that's for sure,
Mm-hmm.
because of
Mm-hmm.
just the visa thing. But postdoc doesn't work that way, because they have J1s and other things that they can work out. So I don't see you having an issue getting a postdoc. The only thing I would say is, unless and until you have a restriction of moving. Many
Mm-hmm.
times what happened, you
But
said,
I'm okay to move.
yeah. That's what I'm
I'm
saying is
actually
like
okay to
that's
move.
the only that is the only restriction that will come out, because if you are open to move, then I think you should be able to then look out to other universities, not just where you are.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it could be possible, because where you are, South Carolina, I don't think there are many universities there except South Carolina. I don't know which city you are in, but if you are in, for example, North Carolina, the place like Raleigh, there are 3-4 universities in and around. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes. Yes.
But I don't know what about you, where you are, and what city you are, and how. So unless until you are restricted from relocation, in my opinion, you should be okay. I can tell you
Okay.
couple of websites which would help you to look for some postdoc position. There is a website.
Sure.
Well, I can send you link here. It's called iMechanica, and
I mechanic.
yeah, imechanica.org, and there's a job section there, which has, and this is very dedicated for university research professor,
Okay.
very less industry. Actually, I got my, when I was looking for postdoc, was the website that I helped me to at that time when I graduated.
Okay.
Um, Other than that, um, I would also tell you, I don't know what you would want to do in future, what you would like to do. But my advice to you is, many times student ask me what a postdoc looks like, what a postdoc should be, So in terms of postdoc is just an intermediate between what you want to do, It's not like
Yes.
a permanent position, right? So I would say when you are sending your CV out, don't
Mm-hmm.
restrict yourself what you have done on a topic related to your PhD only. So
Okay.
let's say, for example, if you have learned some skill sets which are either microscopy or either some analytical or even some computational, whatever it is, right?
Okay.
Try to figure it out. Can I use this for fuel cell applications? Can I use
Mm-hmm.
it for um, battery applications? Can I
Mm-hmm.
use it for some, if it's more chemical or chemistry related, can I use this synthesis for some catalyst, something like that.
Okay.
So don't restrict yourself to what you have done, because if
Mm-hmm.
you see, you have to understand postdoc has to be 50-50, 50 what you can give, 50 what you can learn. It cannot
Mm-hmm.
be more than that, because then you won't learn anything new. So just
Okay.
keep that in mind, and that by doing that, you would also open up to other areas. So for example, if there's a postdoc of battery and they are looking for someone who can synthesize the cathode material, right? Can you do something there, whether it's characterization, whether it's
Synthesis.
testing, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
so just try to put yourself out there. And as you said, your CV is good, but I always tell many students as it's always good to have multiple CVs. There is
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong in it, in my opinion, because your
Okay.
one CV could put you as a person who is a synthesis person. Your one CV could put yourself as person who is more of a characterization person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there is nothing
Yeah,
wrong.
I got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So branch out more. See what else that you can figure it out. What you have learned, like for example,
Mm-hmm.
if you're a very good programmer in MATLAB, and just an idea, I think why you want to restrict yourself into doing just one thing only, which is related to chemistry. Why not something that is more interdisciplinary, more biology and chemistry? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So try to branch out, and I think people or professors do look at students like that, especially in US.
Okay.
There's a
Mm-hmm.
and but let me tell you, if you ask me that I'm not able to find, I think uh, because there are less funding issues, I would disagree with that, because at this point of time, as I talk
Mm-hmm.
today, I have never seen a demand like that in my life, to be honest.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there is a lot, and there is a lot people. But as I said to you also, um, um, if a person who has done his PhD in steel making, as an example, I mean, who cares about the steel making nowadays? I mean, those days are gone. So my point here is, if you see that there is a funding in certain areas there, for example, if there's a funding in the area of data science, if there's a funding in
Mm-hmm.
the area of energy storage, I would, if I was you, I would try to see how can I give my CV a flavor which brings me like that, because then you are more, more, you would be more marketable in that sense. So
Okay.
yeah, so just don't restrict yourself what you have done. But as I said, there are certain areas out there these days, especially if it's an area of energy, if in the area of
Okay.
data science, the demand is huge, huge demand.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's I can't tell you how, like, people can't find people, to be honest. There are, yeah.
Okay.
And then, as I said, whenever, if they approach you or interview you, never give this notion that because of your personal situation you can't do that, because this is one big red flag. Nobody cares.
Mhm.
Nobody cares at all what's your personal situation, especially for a postdoc, because postdocs are supposed to be, they are the workhorse for the lab, in my opinion, US especially. So never give that notion, and you should be ready for that situation too, because your personal life will get disrupted in a huge way. Yeah, so it will be.
Actually, like a few of the positions which I got, one was from Clemson University. The professor was okay, and finally the immigration team said that there are so many issues happening because of this visa. They are not issuing any new visa, fresh visas.
Which
So those Clemson University in South
okay.
Carolina.
Mhm.
So like so many positions have been happening like that, and one was from Nebraska Lincoln, and the professor was expecting me to have a work authorization to take in forward. Then I did not have, so I am currently on H4. So he was like, so this process might take time, and they were just telling. So I was like little concerned, is like just because of that. Somehow I'm getting restricted. I even was ready to even volunteer for some time until I get this EAD. So, but I heard that few professors were like their principals doesn't allow them to make PhDs work without any pay. So some feel that way, and some feel like if you are working as a volunteer and you would not be able to take up the postdoc positions that's available in that team. So these are the different kinds of replies I got with the professors when I had a interaction with them.
I
So
mean,
no, I'm not sure. Like
the things you're telling me has been there forever and very common. Trust me. I mean, even
okay,
the example I gave you of my cousin's wife, she did volunteer for a year actually.
okay,
So as I said, these things are very common. Here's the thing: it is you who has to figure that out, because
haha,
especially this visa situation is something that is in nobody's hand. And I can tell you
mhm,
one thing for sure: if a professor really wants you as a postdoc, there is no way he or she cannot do it. See,
okay,
you have to understand, it's all supply and demand, because you are interviewing
mhm,
for a postdoc. And one thing also I will tell you, usually in US, I don't know about India, but usually in US postdocs are more of a personal referral positions. A guy,
yes,
if I have a student and I have a friend, I say, hey, my student is getting ready, and he said, that's fine, bring it in. That's how it works. It's not a faculty
yes,
position where you sit and you have a committee. It doesn't work that way. It's a very personal. So
correct,
in your situation, you are going through more of what I say, like when you apply to industry, where you have first round of interview and second round. So it will be definitely more rigorous, more
mhm,
barriers, definitely.
okay,
Unless and until your advisor knows someone and
mhm,
can refer you right away. That's how it is,
yes,
right? So
mhm,
you have to understand, that's why you are seeing these barriers,
correct,
right? Otherwise, usually
mhm,
postdoc that I have known is like, before student graduate, if a person is interested in postdoc, there's no issue at all.
mhm,
You graduate, you join postdoc. That's how it happens. But as I told you, and I have seen this, especially for women who come from India and then decide to, because you have to, reinvent yourself now again, right? You're reinventing yourself with a new place, new connections, and everything where you
correct,
have been, right? So this is absolutely very common, and you have to go through that situation. But I would say the only advice I have is, you have to be persistent. That's all.
okay, yes,
Be persistent that you want a postdoc no matter what, whether I have to volunteer, whether I have to not, whether this visa issue or not. But as far as if you ask me that, and I'm pretty sure you will get it. This is just a matter of
mhm,
time. But
yes,
definitely, I will tell you. is,
But somehow, when I write emails to professors, I hardly get any reply. Is there any way that I'm missing out? That's what it was concerning me.
yeah, no, no, you're right. But that's the reason I told you, is because postdocs are very personal. These
Mhm.
professors get 100 emails from all over.
Correct.
I mean, one thing
Yeah.
I can tell you, in India,
Mm-hmm.
because of the surge of so many universities, so many PhDs are coming out, every person is sending out email to professor, whether they are BTech, MTech, or master, saying that, or PhD, saying that we want to do a project, summer internship, this and that.
Correct.
And so, it goes there unless until it's a personal referral.
Correct.
So if you are in US, right,
Mm-hmm.
and if there is a university next door to you,
Mm-hmm.
my advice is just go there, take an
Okay.
appointment, go to a professor, sit down with her or him, and talk to him that this is what I would like to do, this is what I am, this is what I have done. Yeah, I can volunteer at your lab, and it will happen.
Okay.
That's the like a like the fastest way. Or but if you sit in your room and say, okay, I'm going to send out an email and maybe I will hear back, that may not work that
Okay.
easy. But if you are there and if there is a university next door to you, this is absolutely, you can always call professor.
Okay.
I will tell you my story. When I
Uh-huh.
graduated from Maryland in my PhD, I was looking for a postdoc at that time. So I got a couple
Mm-hmm.
of interviews, but I was really looking for a postdoc at Johns Hopkins at the time with a professor I really wanted to do. I
Okay.
sent out an email, I didn't hear. And Johns Hopkins was not far away where I was living, maybe 20-minute drive. Okay.
Okay.
Out of the blue, because I didn't hear from a week, I called that person.
Okay.
He picked the phone and he said, "Oh, I am really sorry. I was into this email. Okay, so tell me about yourself." And it happened. So this is
Okay.
what it is. It has to be that
Okay.
here's the thing. You have to be that aggressive. Don't shy away.
Okay.
There is that, there's nothing wrong in contacting someone and be upfront, because this also tells about how eager you
We are.
are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong
Right.
in that, right?
Right.
So, and as I said, in your case, there are more barriers than advantages. You are not graduated from here. You are
Mm-hmm.
coming from
Yeah.
a very you are coming from a university which is very unknown in many sense. You are coming
Correct.
from you're not being referred by your advisor,
Correct.
right? So you have to
Right.
understand, and then how you overcome that barrier with someone who is graduating from IC Bangalore and his advisor is referring and sending out. You have to understand, so
Right.
what you do, you just knock the door
Correct.
and tell that person that I'm here, because they say is out of out of sight, out of mind. It's something like that. When you're there, that person is more believable than a person who
Correct.
is emailing.
Correct.
And as I told you, this is as I told you that my cousin's wife did exactly the same.
Mm.
She had a similar conversation with me, I would say 3.5 years back. Exactly the
Okay.
same. Yeah, exactly the same conversation. And when she came here, she what that's what she did. She went to Rutgers, volunteered for 6 months or a year, I don't know. But I was talking to my cousin 2 weeks back, yeah, or last week, and he told me that. I said, "What she's doing?" He said, "She's been doing postdoc for 2 years now almost, and she was used to volunteer, if you remember." I said, "Yeah, yeah." So finally, she got it in that lab or other lab, I
Mm.
don't know, but that's how it works.
Okay.
That's the that's
Okay. I
that's the
think that.
appropriate way to have. I think your CV has all the ingredients except that part where you tell someone, you show someone, and you have
Correct.
to understand. Since you are in US, take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Rather,
Okay.
what's the point of sending email if you can visit? Like for example, if
Sure.
you can, if I don't know how far Raleigh is from you, you can visit North Carolina State, you can visit Durham. Just go,
Mm-hmm.
just knock the door. I mean,
Okay.
COVID has some restrictions, but if you can travel, and if you can have an appointment with a professor, you can travel. Trust me, you will have much more better result. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that should be the. I think I need to adopt that, and I really have to go that way.
Trust me, if you do that, knock on words, you will have much more better results than anything. As I
Sure.
said, it may start with a volunteer or not, I don't know, but it will happen.
Okay.
But
Okay.
as far as the industry job application is concerned, that would be, in my opinion, is a little bit way difficult right now, unless and until you
Okay.
get your visa and all that, because industry right now has is in terms of visa is more demanding.
Okay.
And I mean, I that doesn't mean that I'm discouraging you not to apply. So, as
Mm-hmm.
I always say to students, have plan A, plan B, plan C. Your plan A could be
Yes.
this, but your plan B could be, okay, maybe 80% of my time will I devote to look for a postdoc, but maybe that 20% I will just keep applying for jobs, and who knows, it
Mm-hmm.
clicks, right? Maybe there is a company next door to you who is looking for someone, and you should be fine. So, keep doing that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll try to adopt that. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. But I think, as I said, I don't think there is anything wrong with your CV, but you have to understand your competitions too.
That is right. Yeah.
Yeah. So many times what happens, when we sit in a room and we're looking in a computer, we forget to think who are those people,
Yeah.
and I, because since I talk to so many students now, especially most of them are from India.
Mm-hmm.
I see there's a variety of student. There's a student from I was talking to a student from IIT Patna who just finished his PhD, and he had a similar question. I want to apply for a postdoc. I talked to two students from IC Bangalore, both women. They graduated from some Jawaharlal Nehru something, I forgot the name, and they were looking for a postdoc. Had a similar question. So you have to understand, there is a there are so many people out there, and
Mm-hmm.
but as I said, in your CV, I don't see anything wrong. It's well and good. But do more research when you approach a professor, when you go and meet him or her,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
So make sure that person, what's his or her research area is, what papers he has done. If you want, you can read those papers, try to make some connection out of it. And there are
Correct.
many times what happens, if you look at these websites, iMechanica or things like that,
Mm-hmm.
it is very possible that you will find someone from South Carolina University or Raleigh looking for a postdoc, and then just send an email that I saw this position, I'm here, I can meet you, or I can have a Zoom interview. I am in US and I'm really interested. Just I please let me know when can we schedule. Just be upfront.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. I will do that.
yeah. Any other question? Because
Not really. So this was my actually concern. So where the way I'm approaching or something I was missing out. So I just wanted to know because I really don't have someone to help me out with this because my supervisor doesn't have any much connections over US and also in that way that option is not there. So the way I'm approaching, I'm somewhere not sure what's going on. Like currently I have to stick to US somewhere around in US. I have to find a position. So I was just really wanted to know. So the
yeah, yeah.
way
No, no,
I have to
I
approach and
think,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
As I said, I think the only thing that was missing when I think you're not understanding who why you're not getting the response instance. Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
and I think I
So
explained it.
many times I used to do the like follow up emails and all, but none of the things got any replies.
Yeah, no, no, as I said to you, postdocs are very personal, very
Yes,
personal.
that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
they are not, as I said, advertised faculty position, even though they are advertised, and most
Mm-hmm.
of them postdocs are advertised. If you see advertisement, they are advertised because of the law. Because
Okay.
if they have to file a visa, then the law says you have to advertise it so that you can hear it. But the person already has someone in mind, so you have
Mm-hmm.
to understand that also.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So this is also very very true, and you have to understand another thing, that all the students who are graduated from US and because of COVID they were not able to find job or whatever reason, um, they when they apply for a postdoc, they don't need a visa.
Ah,
So for
Okay.
them, the professor don't have to worry at all
Very, yes, that's true.
for visa and all that. So for them, they don't have to spend that $5,000 or whatever for visa unless until that person is a gem or whatever. So that you have
Exactly.
to understand that also. But as far as I said to you, the demand is concerned, there's so huge demand right now. I can't tell you. I mean, they don't have people to work.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Probably I'll try out first in South Carolina because University of South Carolina is just like 2 miles away from my place.
Go there. Yeah, just go there. I
Yeah,
trust.
surely.
I'm
I
not.
was a
I'm not
little
kidding you.
hesitant because, like, can I just go on and talk? So I was very concerned with that.
Yeah,
So when you
I
say that, I think it's the
look.
right way to approach.
No, look at their website. Look at the
Hmm.
professors who are there working. Do more research.
Yeah,
Just
I
pick
have a
them.
list. I have already made a list. So I just wanted to like have a connection, or I was trying to do it just through email. I think this is the right approach. I would consider
Yeah.
it.
Marketing, they say there is a thing called cold call. When you receive a call from a marketer, say, hello, do you want to buy something? It's called a cold call. It's not a good
Okay.
thing to do, but that's how they sell products. It's the same thing.
Great.
If you don't know someone, what you do, you pick the phone, we have to be shameless, and then you call them, and it works sometimes. So that's how you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, Kiran,
And one more
after
thing
that,
that I want to
yeah.
ask is that is there any alternate careers that we can choose, like having a PhD apart from research and industry? This is just like I'm having a second thought, so I'm just asking you, like, you might be a better person to tell me this.
I mean, there are many alternate careers if you these days especially, but it all depends on your if you know soft skills,
Uh-huh.
like these all these IT guys, for example, right? I'm
Okay.
not one of them, but all these IT guys, if you are one of them, if
Hmm.
you know one of those skills is data science and all that,
Okay.
that could be one of the areas that people like to explore and
Okay.
look around, because there are jobs where you can sit at home and work.
Just do that, yes.
Yeah, stay at home and work, and which is not bad for work life balance. Then you have, I would say, if you are a good writer, there are a lot of technical writing stuff that can be done at home by looking at all these publishers that they look for people um, for correction. I don't know what they call it, but I know it's from a couple of my
Edit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
they,
cactus communication. Yeah, these people do that editing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
so editing sort of thing. But as I said,
Uh,
it all depends on your choices, what you want to do, to be honest. But definitely there are some areas that, but then they have nothing to do what you have done, that you have
mhm.
to understand that too. And if that is important to you, then you have to make those choices. But definitely, if you go for a postdoc or things like that, that would be very more demanding.
Correct.
Yeah, much more demanding than anything. So just keep that in mind.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, and thank you for your time.
Sure,
And
sure, not a
that's
problem.
such a good
Yeah,
suggestion for
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. Good luck, and
Yeah.
when you able to find someone, shoot me an email.
Yeah. I will just try to be in touch with you, and I will
Sure, sure,
just update you if I get to any
sure, sure.
positions.
Okay,
Thank you.
talk to you
Thank you,
later.
Dr. Amit. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.